Good morning, chapel friends. How are we this morning? It is time for our lessons in Miss Kim's classroom. So get on up and let's get our pledges going this morning. We're going to start with the American flag. So everybody standing nice and tall. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very nice. All right. And now, what's next? That's right, the Christian flag. Good job. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the Christian flag and to the Savior for whose kingdom it stands. One Savior, crucified, risen, and coming again, with life and liberty to all who believe. Very nice. You guys are so awesome. Hey, Miss Linda. Good morning. Hey, you guys make sure you let me know you're out there, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're on Facebook Live. Let me know you're there and be popping your prayer requests up so that we can pray here in just a little bit. All right. I hope that our cameras are a little more in sync today so that either way you're streaming, you can see the same picture. So let me know how it's going, if it looks good to you guys. Always making improvements, right? Always changing, always making improvements. I wouldn't want you guys to get bored, right? Yes, today is Megan's birthday. Good morning, Mr. Ken. Good morning. Well, you message Jennifer, Miss Linda, and tell her to hop on here so we can sing to Miss Megan, because it is her birthday. Oh, so excited for her day. All right, now let's pledge the Bible. Here we go. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the Bible, God's holy word. I will make it a lamp unto my feet, a light unto my path, and will hide its words in my heart, that I may not sin against God. Good job. Get it on that shoulder. Here we go. Are you guys ready? Come on, you better be doing this with me. Don't be letting me do this by myself. That is not cool when I'm doing it by myself. Here we go. Come on. I can hear you. The Bible. Yes, that's the book for me. I stand alone on the word of God. The Bible spells Bible. Good job. Now, y'all listen. We're going to talk about the weather in a minute, but it is so rainy outside. Like, we need some light, right? So can we sing this little light of mine? Come on. This little light of mine. Come on. I'm going to let it shine. Oh, yeah. This little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Hide it under a bushel? Hide it under a bushel? No. I'm going to let it shine. Hide it under a bushel? No. I'm going to let it shine. Hide it under a bushel? No. I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Don't let Satan blow it out. Don't let Satan it out. I'm going to let it shine. Oh, yeah. Don't let Satan it out. I'm going to let it shine. Don't let Satan it out. I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Till Jesus comes. Let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm going to let it shine. Oh, yeah. Let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Come on, one more time. This little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. This little light of mine. Come on. I'm going to let it shine. Last time. This little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Good job, guys. Good job. How about, even though we may not love when it's rainy, some people do. And the Lord knows exactly what we need, right? So we can praise Him because this is the day This is the day that the Lord has made, that the Lord has made. Come on. We will rejoice. Woohoo! We will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord has made. Good job. Good job. Let's see, who is that? Hey, Miss Megan. I see you're there. I miss you and I love you. And it is your birthday. So, we're going to sing. Let's get my birthday cake out. Here we go. Can we all sing to Megan? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Megan. Happy birthday to you. We love you, sweet girl. We hope you have a wonderful day. Wonderful day. Oh, because we are surely blessed by you every day. All right, so now, hang on. I'm getting up close and personal, I know, but I got to check all our comments here. Let's see. Hey, Miss Becky. Good to have you with us this morning. All right, so don't forget your prayer request. And let's talk about the weather. Now, I got to tell you, this is kind of what it's looking like here. Yeah, very little sunshine peeking through today. Now, it's trying, so I'm going to put him right there. He's trying, but there's going to be a lot of these guys today, right? So, make sure you got your raincoat on. Now, you know, one of my sweet little friends said the other day, Miss Kim, where's the weather cats? Because, you know, I thought y'all were kind of bored with the weather cats. So, not bringing back the weather cats, but I have a new weather surprise coming, and you're gonna love it. You're just gonna love it. So, I can't wait. It's supposed to be here any day now. And as soon as it comes in the mail, we will use it the very next day to talk about weather. You're going to be so surprised. So, something to look forward to, right? Okay, so, let's see. Our weather, calendar. Let's do calendar. Can we do calendar and just put it kind of right over Noah, right here? Because I don't want to take Noah down right now, because we still got to talk about old Noah. All right, so yesterday, what day was yesterday? My days are so messed up because we were off on Monday. Yesterday was Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. Tomorrow is Thursday. All right, so let's count our numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We need a number for today. What's next? Count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Dun, 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 dun. 9. That's right. Today is the 9th. So it is September 9th, 2020. Our month is September. We're almost officially in fall. September 9th, 2020. And today is Wednesday. Can we sing our Days of the Week song? Days of the week. 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 There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. There's even Saturday. Days of the week. 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 Good job. Good job. Let's see. Hey, Juliana and Colleen. I see you're out there now. You can't hear me. Well, why can't you hear me? I don't know why you can't hear me. I think everybody else can hear me. I'm sorry, baby girl. I don't know why that's happening for you. Hey, if you'll go watch it on YouTube, I know that you can hear me there because my big microphone is plugged in on YouTube. So jump over to the YouTube channel because it's streaming live there too. And maybe you can hear better. Okay? Good morning, Juliana and Colleen. How are you girls this morning? All right. So that's our calendar. Today is Wednesday. Wednesday. That's not how the song goes. Miss Linda, you know what I'm talking about, right? She knows that song. But it's not Wednesday. It's Monday. All right. Get up there. Calendar's being stubborn today. So let's talk about our shapes and colors for all of our young friends. So our shapes this week are, what is this one? Triangle and, what's this one? Diamond. That's right. Okay. Diamonds and triangles. Okay? Those are our two shapes. Now last week, what did we talk about? Do you remember? Let me pull it from over here. What shape is this? A square. Good. And what shape is this? Circle. That's right. Our tambourine is the shape of a circle. Good. Now, our colors we have talked about are red, yep, and blue, and today, or this week, we are talking about, what color is this one? Purple and green. That's right, purple and green. I love you too, Megan. Hey, go jump on YouTube, girl, so you can watch the rest of chapel, okay? So let's see. What color are these cars? What color is this one? Green. This one, yellow. This one, red. This one, blue. Good. So let's look at the spelling of our words for this week. Let's lay those there. So we have purple and green. Purple, green. Okay? Purple and green. Those are our colors for this week. So I ask you, my friends, what is the weather today? What is the weather today? Is it going to be sunny? I don't think so. Is it going to be snowy? I don't think so. Can't pick it up. Could be a little windy with the storms. Could be. I think right at the moment it's a little cloudy. The sun's trying to peek through. But I think these two are the most of what we're going to see today. It's going to be really cloudy and rainy with some thunderstorms mixed in. So that is our weather for today. Do you like our new weather pictures? I created those this weekend. I just need to laminate them now. So I thought those were pretty cute. All right, so that's our weather and our shapes and our colors. And now I think we need to pray. So get your hands up. 1 little, 2 little, 3 little fingers. 4 little, 5 little, 6 little fingers. 7 little, 8 little, 9 little fingers. 10 little fingers folded in prayer. Dear God, thank you so much for this day. And God, thank you so much for Megan and her birthday that we celebrate today. Lord, she is such a blessing to all of us. And Lord, today I want to lift up especially our police officers in Rochester, New York. Lord, there is such animosity going on there, such hurt and such hate. And Lord, we have people near and dear to us there. And so Lord, I lift up our police officers there. Lord, I just ask that you be with their families. And Lord, for our police officers everywhere, Lord, just put a hedge of protection around them. And Lord, help them to make good choices. And Lord, I just pray that their love can be shown, that your love can be shown through them. Even when they're having to make arrests and to reprimand people. And Lord, I know it's difficult. I cannot even imagine the job that they do. And so, Lord, I just lift them up to you today. And Lord, for our medical workers and our firemen, Lord, for our military, For all of those who serve us, Lord. Lord, I just ask you to just be with them. Let them feel you close and their families, Lord. Lord, for all of those who are making deliveries for us today, the farmers, Lord, be with the farmers that are growing food for us. Lord, may their crops, may their harvest be plenty. And Lord, I just, today, Lord, I thank you so much for our chapel family. Lord, I pray and I praise you for the way that you have provided us to be able to have a virtual classroom and to study you and to learn so much about your creation and all the things around us. So Lord, may our wisdom come from you. May what we learn, Lord, come from you and not of this world. Lord, be with us today. Help us have open minds and open hearts, Lord. Lord, I do want to lift up JB still, Lord. Be with him as his health is not good. Lord, be with Melissa, our sweet friends in France, Lord. Just be with them. And Lord, I just, I ask that you be with my sweet sister Lucretia, Lord, as she is still adjusting and will be for some time to life without Chuck. And so, Lord, I know that it's a difficult journey right now. And so, Lord, I lift her up to you, and I pray that every day she will see you shine through and she will feel you close to her, Lord. And Lord, there's so many things that are going on around us, Lord, that I can't mention them all, but Lord, I know that you know. And so, Lord, there's so many unspoken, but Lord, you know my heart. And so, Lord, I lift them all up to you. Lord, be with our chapel families, Lord. Help them to have good days with schoolwork, Lord, and help them to glorify and honor you in all that we all do. Me and our chapel family, all of us, Lord. May we glorify you. It's in the precious name of Jesus that I pray. Amen. All right. Now, moms, for our little ones, we're going to have our Bible time. Yes, I was thinking we were going into schoolwork, but we still have to have Bible. My goodness, what was I thinking? All right, so I'm going to move my board over because today I want to show you some things on the board. Can everybody see the board? Can you guys see the board pretty good? All right. So, yesterday, I might have moved it too early. We talked about Noah and the ark. Remember? We talked about Noah and the ark and how the world had just become so full of wicked, evil. It's just not good. And in fact, it was disappointing to God. And I shouldn't say disappointing, but he was just not happy, because disappointment means something happens you didn't expect. Well, God knew all along what was going to happen, so it wasn't really disappointing, but he was kind of disgusted, really, about how he had created all this stuff, and just everything was just so bad. And so he told Noah, who loved him and obeyed him, I want you to build this ark. And remember, he had to know math because he had to build it a certain size, right? Certain length and a certain height and a certain depth, and he had to put the windows a certain place and the door a certain place, and all of that involved numbers. So it's very important that we know our math, because see, even way back then, math was important. So we've got Noah and his wife. Now, who else got on the ark with them? Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And then their 3 wives. So 3 plus 3. We had, let's see. We had Noah and his wife. So that's 1 plus 1. And then we had the 3 sons plus their 3 wives. So 1 plus 1 equals 2. And 3 plus 3 equals 6. Good. So then if we say 6 plus 2 equals, well, you know how we've been doing our math. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're adding them. Plus 2, 7, 8. So 6 plus 2 is 8. So there were 8 people total on the ship. And then, how many of every kind of animal? 2. 2 of each kind. So 2 of each kind of animal. That was a full ark, wasn't it? I mean, it was really full. Oh, Miss Melissa, I just saw your message. Yes, guys, great note. Sorry I didn't see that earlier. Make sure today, guys, when you're praying, that you add those dealing with the wildfires to your list. I was watching that on the news earlier. Thank you, Miss Melissa. I'm so sorry I failed to mention that earlier. Yes, Mr. Ken, that was a squirrel because I saw her message. But add those firemen and all those people in those areas, add them to your prayers for today, because those fires are a mess. Oh, it's so sad. I saw a car that somebody had abandoned. It was melted to the road. Isn't that crazy? All right, so ark full of people. Back to our Bible story. We had an ark full of people. We did indeed. Okay. And they were on this big old ark. And once they were on the ark, the Lord said, once you're all on there, I'm going to close the door. And this is from Genesis chapter 8 and 9. So if you want to read the actual story, it's right in there. But here's something that I want us to do today. And we did this way back months ago at the beginning of COVID. I want to look at the timeline. Okay? So first, we have Noah builds this ark. Now, artist, I am not, okay? But we're going to try here. Okay, so he built the ark. Okay, and that's in Genesis 6, 13 to 14. Okay, so you can read about that there. And then, a long time passes. It took him a long time to build the ark. Then, God said, it's time. So Noah enters the ark with his family and the animals. So, here's our ark, right? And here's all the people and the animals. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people. And then all these little animals. And they're going into the ark. Okay? And that is in Genesis chapter 7, 6 through 10. Okay? I'm all about timelines and letting you see how things took place. Then, 7 days later, okay, it starts to rain. Our rain looks kind of like our people, doesn't it? Okay, we'll have to start drawing smaller. So it starts raining and raining, and the water starts rising. Now, how many days and nights did it rain for? 40 days. That's right. And you can read about that in Genesis 7, 11 through 12. Okay? Now, that was 40 days. So the water has gotten so high that now it is higher than the mountaintops. See our mountains? It has covered the mountaintops. That is in Genesis 7, 20 to 24. And you know how long it was like that? 150 days. 150 days. Wow. The water goes up so high that the ark comes to rest on top of Mount Ararat. And that is Genesis chapter 8, 3 to 4. Now, 6 months later, okay, we're still going here. 6 months later, the water dries up, and all we have is this ark on top of the mountain. See it sitting on top of the mountain there? Can y'all see it? Uh-oh, Facebook friends. I've kind of lost y'all. I'm going to have to tilt y'all so you can see, okay? So can you see? It's on the mountain. Okay. And then, so that was 6 months after the water came. 6 months later, it dries up. And that is, we read about that in Genesis. Here's this one. Genesis chapter 8, 14 to 17. And then, first thing that Noah does is he builds an altar. Okay? First thing he does, and that is Genesis 8, chapter 20. Okay? I don't think any of you can see that. Genesis 8, chapter 20. See right here, the first thing he did was build an altar. When they got off the ark, the first thing he did, and we'll turn y'all, see that? First thing he did was build an altar. An altar to God. Now let's talk about that altar. After more than a year in the ark, the day finally came that Noah and his family and all of the animals could leave the ark. The sun was shining brighter than ever. Can you imagine coming off of that ark and the sun shining? It probably did seem like it was brighter than it had ever been, didn't it? Kind of like we're going to feel after this streak of rain that we're getting. But we're not going to be under this rain for 6 months. Imagine 6 months of rain and rain. Well, it rained 40 days and 40 nights. Let me not mix up our story. It rained 40 days and 40 nights, and they were on the ark another 150 days. Remember in our timeline? So they had been closed up in this ark for a long time. So the sun was shining brighter than it seemed to have ever been before. And there was a huge bow. Look at that. A huge bow of soft colors that almost seemed to shine. Now I'm going to move this guy back over. Bear with me. Let's put him out of the way for a minute. And let's put our rainbow with our ark. Look at that. There we go. When Noah got off the ark and stepped onto dry land, the very first thing he did was gather some rocks and put them on a pile, and he made a fire on top of those rocks, and he burnt animals and birds that were kept for a very special offering to God, because that's what we used for offerings back in those times, right? God was pleased with Noah's sacrifice and made a promise that he would never, ever again flood the whole earth. He would never, ever again destroy all living things with the flood. Not the whole world. Because remember, in this flood, the whole world, everybody, everything except for what was on the ark was washed away. God said in Genesis chapter 9, verse 13, I have set my rainbow in the clouds, and it will be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. The promise God made was an everlasting covenant. So what is a covenant? A covenant is like a promise, right? An everlasting covenant. And that means that God will keep his special promise as long as the world exists. So wherever there's a rainbow, when you see one of these in the sky, that reminds us of God's faithfulness and his kindness. It also reminds us, and reminds God, when he puts them up there, of the covenant that he made with the earth. And that also is in Genesis chapter 9, verse 16. God makes promises because he loves us and wants us to know how much he cares for us. He has given us promises so that we know all the things that we can trust him for. Because, he keeps his promises, and we see throughout the Bible how he makes a promise and he keeps it. He makes his promises come true in our lives. The Lord is faithful to all his promises and loving toward all he has made. That is scripture from Psalm 145:13. Many of God's promises are for everyone. God created people to love them. And he wants all the people to love him too, right? That's why we were created, was to love and serve him. Even if people don't, and even if people are bad at those, like in Noah's time, God has promised that he will never again destroy all with the flood. Another promise God made is that everyone who calls on his name will be saved. Romans 10:13. If you call upon my name, you will be saved. That's what he tells us. It's a promise. Certain promises can only come true for us if we do our part. We have to do our part. So God has made a promise, but we have to keep our end of the deal too, right? It's kind of like when you make a promise with your friend and you say, I promise that I'm going to be your friend forever. And you try really hard, but then maybe that friend decides not to be your friend anymore. See, that friend's not doing their part of the deal, right? Such promises may need action from us, or maybe even the right attitude, it's true, before God can make them happen. An example, we have to be obedient, we have to trust him, and we have to forgive, right? So for God to be able to keep those promises, well, we have to believe them. And we have to trust him, right? So that's what I mean about how we have to do our part. God always keeps his promises. But we have to believe that he will before they can happen, right? Does that make sense to you guys? I sure hope so. So, that's like if I said, I promise that I will... Let's see, what is something I can promise you guys? I promise that as long as technology works, we will have chapel again tomorrow. It's a promise. Now, the technology has to work, right? It has to do its part. And you guys have to believe me, and you'll come back and check tomorrow, right? So, but if you didn't believe that I was going to be here tomorrow, well then, how can I keep my promise if you don't do your part and show up to watch? You see? Does that kind of help make sense? So, we have to do our parts for God to be able to do what he promises he's going to do. Which means we need to wait, trust, and obey, right? We've talked about this the whole time we've been doing Live Chapel. Wait on God's timing. Trust he's going to do what he says he's going to do. And obey. We have to be obedient to him. Oh, great word. Great word about the flood. And don't you just love it? Do you think of God every time you see a rainbow? Because I do. Every time I see a rainbow, I think of God. And you know what I also think of? I also think of my daddy, who is with Jesus in heaven. And I don't even know why, but rainbows just make me think of him. He wasn't a big rainbow fan or anything, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a God wink from heaven, right? So God's winking at us. That's what I call them when I see things that make me think of God. It's kind of like a God wink, reminding us that he is faithful. So there's our Bible lesson for today. I hope that has encouraged you. Good morning, Lena. Good morning, Miss Kathy. How are y'all this morning? Good to have you with us. Now, we're going to move on to our history lesson for today. So if our little ones are getting squirmy, you can let them go and play, or they can stay and they can join all of us in learning about the Boston Tea Party. So yesterday I introduced the Boston Tea Party to you, but before we do that, I want everybody to stand up. It's time for us to stretch. Come on. Get on up, hands up in the sky. Reach. See if you can reach those clouds. Oh, did you feel a raindrop? Well, I hope not. I mean, not in the classroom or not inside your house, but if you're outside, maybe. All right, now bend over to the floor. Here we go.
all the way down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
And back up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we're going to turn this way. Good. And we're going to turn this way. Yep. And now let's twist. Woo, working that midsection. Popping that back some. Yep. All right. Now shake those wiggles out. Here we go. Shake them out. Ooh, la, 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 la. Run out, wiggles. Run, run. Run, wiggles. Run, run, run. All right, we good now? Ready to listen to the Boston Tea Party? So, yesterday, here's you a little bit of American history. And that's just really going to be our focus for our history during this school season. We're going to focus on history on our online, American history on our chapel. So, see this right here? This is not the one I showed you yesterday. This is. Sorry. Okay, so this is the one I showed you yesterday. And see these guys? They're all on this boat. Do you see what they're doing? They're throwing these trunks over. All right? This is lifting it up out of the belly, sitting the trunks over here, and then they're tossing them over. Now, here's a better picture. See them tossing them over? Tossing them over and dumping out the tea. Do you like tea? I love tea. I love sweet tea. I love hot tea. I love Miyama tea. Oh, I love tea. I just love tea. I really love some sweet tea. Iced tea, because I am a North Carolina girl. So let it just be said. I love me some sweet tea. So what in the world is happening in this picture? Oh my goodness. Well, let's see. Now, this was back in December of 1773. This was even before I was born. In fact, I was born in 1972. So here's some math for you. If you've got your little notepad and you want to write it down. If I was born in 1972, let's do it on our board. We can put this back over here now. We can use it in a little bit. All right, let's see. If I was born in 1972 and this happened in 1773, well, we have to find the difference to find out how many years it's been. So we're going to subtract because we want to find the difference. Now, you older kids, this is some big subtraction. We can't take 3 away from 2 because we don't have 3. So we got to borrow 1 from this guy. So this is going to become a 6 and this is going to become a 12. Now, if I have 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and I'm going to take 3 away. Let's do 1, 2, 3. How many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that's 9. Well, remember we borrowed from this 7, and we have a 6. Can I take 7 from 6? No, because I don't have 7, so we got to borrow again. So make this 9 and 8, and make this a 16. All right, well now we got to say 16 minus 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And now we're going to take away 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many does that leave us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now, can we take 7 from 8? Yes, because 8 is bigger. Bigger numbers always got to be on top. So 8 minus 7 leaves us how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to take away 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How many does that leave us? 1. And then 1 minus 1 is 0, right? So it's been 100. There was 199 years between when I was born and the Boston Tea Party. Wow. See, it's even older than I am. I bet y'all didn't think that was possible, did you? All right, so In December of 1773, December 16th, in fact, in Griffin's Wharf, which is a Boston harbor, in Boston, Massachusetts. Oh boy, let's get our map because that's one that we've learned. Where is it? Do you see it? Right there. There's our yellow. See that? There's the yellow. Boston, Massachusetts. So that's where the Boston Tea Party happened. In Griffin's Wharf, Boston Harbor. Now what's happening is the Americans came over here to what we call America, right? They left England because they wanted to come here and establish a civilization based on biblical beliefs, right? And so the Americans are here, and now we're going to fast forward a little bit since they got here. And the British people are wanting to tax them for tea. Now in England, that they have teacups and they have tea every day at high noon. So tea is a big deal in England, right? Well, American people love tea too. And so they were upset because they wanted to give them this extra tax on their tea that they were importing. Not cool. So they were so frustrated, listen to what they did. See these things on their head? Those are Mohawk, can y'all see those on Facebook? Everybody see them? Those are Mohawk headdresses. And they put those headdresses on so that they would look like Indians and people wouldn't recognize them as the Americans. And they threw the tea off of 3 different ships into that harbor. I mean, just dumped it right in there. 342 chests. Now, when I say chest, have you seen these antique trunks that have kind of got a round top on them? I'll try to bring you a picture of a trunk tomorrow. I have an old trunk in my living room that I'm pretty sure came over on a ship from my forefathers, my great-great-grandfather, because it was his. But I couldn't bring it in here in chapel because it's too big and it's heavy. So maybe I'll make a picture of it, or I'll get you a picture of the trunk. But anyway, if you've seen these old trunks, some of them have a round top. Mine's a smooth top. Or a flat top. But these old-timey trunks, that's what they shipped things in on the ships. And see, they would, see here? They'd put them down here. Now, these trunks look a little different than mine. But anyway, so they took them and they poured them over. And this looks like boxes maybe that were in the trunk somehow. And they've ripped them open and they're dumping all the tea into the harbor. Can you imagine what the water looked like? Probably yucky, right? With all that tea. 342 chests of tea they dumped into the harbor. The Boston Tea Party was a protest to the British Parliament Tea Act of 1773. Essentially, that's a fancy wording for the tax that they wanted to put on the tea. And the Americans were not happy about it. So they dumped all their tea in the harbor. And if we fast forward a little bit, that's what led to the American Revolution War. Because everybody just kept getting more and more angry about taxes and the way things were being governed. And there we go with a war. So we will also learn about the Revolutionary War here in the very near future, in the few weeks ahead. So that is your information about the Boston Tea Party. Now we're going to learn more and more about that all throughout this week, okay? Because it is a very, very important part of our history. And that's going to lead us into other important things about our American history. Now, I got to tell y'all, can I tell you a secret about myself? When I was a kid in school, I didn't so much love history. And I don't really know why, because the deal is, hey, Jeff Eatman, how are y'all this morning, Eatman family? Good to have y'all with us. The truth is in high school, I had the most amazing history teacher ever, Mr. Barefoot. He was such a wonderful history teacher. But I just didn't care a thing about it. And I don't know why I was being so stubborn, because history is amazing. And now, here's what happens, and y'all better listen to me. You get older and you can't remember things like you used to could. And now I'm trying to learn all this history that I should have been learning way back then, which of course I learned some. But I could have learned so much more if I had just paid attention more. And so I'm telling y'all, pay attention. Learn your history now while you can remember. Because listen, when your brain starts to get older, you just can't retain it like you could when you were younger. So study your history. It is so important to know where you came from, how we got here. Americans haven't always been in America, right? America hasn't always been a country. And so we haven't always had the United States of America. So it's important to know where we came from and how we got here. And there's so much to learn and such wonderful resources that there's really no excuse. Okay? Now, remember, let's talk about it. How was God in the middle of all this? Because the people left England to make a settlement based on biblical truths because they weren't real happy about the way things were going with the church in England there. And so they left and came to America and started a new settlement. Now, for our geography, following up on that, so we looked at, I'm going to fold the USA for a minute. Can you guys see this? Everybody see this? So when we started our geography lessons, we learned Augusta, Maine, Concord, New Hampshire, Montpelier, Vermont, Boston, Massachusetts, Providence, Rhode Island, Hartford, Connecticut, Albany, New York, Trenton, New Jersey, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Dover, Delaware. And now we have, this week, we're learning Annapolis, Maryland, all this yellow right here, okay? Richmond, Virginia. Virginia's this big green one right here. Can you see that? Raleigh, North Carolina. Charleston, West Virginia, right there in the orange. Raleigh's in the purple. And Columbia, South Carolina, which is this green. So we have covered 15 states and capitals right here. Now, trace them. I want you tracing them every day. Get you some notebook paper and lay it on top of your map and trace it in pencil. Trace it, trace it, trace it. And then make yourself some flashcards with the states and capitals. Put the state on one side, capital on the other. In fact, I will try to make some of those today. I got a couple of meetings, but I'll try to get some of those made. I've been wanting to do that because I don't know where the ones were that we used for Julia. I thought we had them here in the schoolroom, but I'm not able to put my hands on them. So I may just make some because flashcards are so important and easy to use to learn things from, to help memorize. And you can play games with your friends with them. You hold up one, they tell you what's on the other side. States and capitals. Great way to learn. All right? So I'll try to make some of those. And you make some. And remember, trace your states and capitals because by the end of this school year, I want you to be able to draw the whole U.S. of A. Because remember, it was all founded because of people's love for God. So it's so important. So important. So important. All right. Now, let's see. Let's move on to, what do I have next for us today? I was going to talk to you about some English. Past participles. Do you know what a past participle is? It's got an ED on the end. But you know what? I didn't bring my example sentences. So how about we talk more about that tomorrow? But past participle is ED. It's a verb plus ED. Like, we can intro it this way. Oh, my eraser's stuck. Hang on. Remember, we've been using those words like walk and run and sing and dance. Remember? Come here, marker. So we had walk. That's our verb, right? Walking. This is our verb plus ing, present participle, right? To walk. What was that? That was our infinitive. Okay, to walk. There's our verb. Okay. Now, this week we're doing past participle. Oh, sorry about that. Kim can't spell today. And we're going to add ed, which is the verb plus ed. So past tense, past participle. I like to walk. I walk. I is the subject. So if I say I walk, that's a sentence, right? This is your subject, this is your verb. Then you can say I like walking, because then subject, verb, and this is what you're talking about. Okay? So this becomes your noun, really. And then I like to walk. This becomes your infinitive. Again, I and like are your subject and your verb. And then I walked, let's say, to school yesterday. Okay? So it's telling you what I did in the past. I walked to school yesterday. Okay? It's a prepositional phrase. To school yesterday. It tells you where I went. So I walked. So this verb becomes a past tense verb. Okay? I walked. Got it? Past tense. And I'll bring some more. That was just on the whim, so I don't have all my example sentences, but I'll bring you some example sentences for that tomorrow, okay? So that we can play with those and use them more in sentences. All right. That'll be fun. We'll play some games with it tomorrow, okay? All right. Now, let's move on to our science, because we've already done a little bit of math, and we might do a little more math if time allows. I didn't wear my watch, so I don't know what time it is. And I could keep you guys in here all day, really. Okay, so we have just a few more minutes, so we're just going to do science. So remember yesterday I talked about the 3 kinds of muscle? See that? 3 kinds of muscle. We have skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. Okay? Well, here's some pictures I brought for you. I brought some more pictures. Skeletal, which is striated and voluntary. Smooth is involuntary. And cardiac is the heart. Okay? This is what a cardiac muscle cell looks like. See right here, the heart? That's what the muscle cells look like. So let's look at this heart that we have. Okay? See all these little holes right here? See all those? And see this guy? This is the aorta. Your heart is a muscle. Right? Constantly pumping blood. Okay? Well, now, if I had, let's see, I was going to bring a weight, and I forgot it. But if I'm lifting weights, okay, so let's pretend my magnets are weights. And if I'm lifting weights, what am I doing? I mean, they are kind of heavy. If I'm lifting weights, what am I doing? I'm working my muscles, right? Well, when I stop working my muscles, what happens? I can barely lift them. I have to work at lifting them. Okay. Well, our heart, it's constantly pumping blood. Well, if we're not exercising it, if we're not, you know how I said yesterday when I go swimming, my heart goes, right? That's making it work. That's building its strength. Because if it becomes weak, it can barely pump the blood through our body. And we have to have that to live, right? So, it's important that we are exercising cardio. You hear people talk about cardio, right? And I need to do more of it. I'm just as guilty as everybody. Running, swimming, jumping jacks, those kinds of things that make your heart go da-da-da-da-da-da. So good for you to do that because it's exercising that heart. It's working that heart, working those muscles so that it's pumping, 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 pumping the way it should. Because if it starts going, that affects your blood pressure, right? When they put that cuff on you and check your pressure, That affects how your blood pumps through your body. And then it starts to affect other things. You get poor circulation. You're not getting circulation through your veins the way you need it. So important. Work those cardiac muscles. Work those muscle cells. So important. Okay, guys? All right, so I'm going to leave you with that today. And as I said, provided the technology works, I promise you that we will have chapel again tomorrow. Okay? I love you guys. I hope you've learned a lot today. And remember, God's in the center of everything that we learn because He is our creator. And this thing right here, it's not just a chance that this aorta and all these arteries and veins that they work the way they do. We had an amazing creator that designed our bodies to work exactly the way they should. Remember, He made the first man and all of us. Adam, he had a heart just like this. So, God, it's just amazing that He made every little artery and vein in this big aorta and in this God of order. Our God designed it all to work exactly the way it should. But there again, we have to do our part, right? So take care of that heart. Get that cardio workout in. Work those cardiac muscles. All right, guys? Okay, I will see you tomorrow. Let me see your kissing hands. Come on, let me see them. I love you all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.